Hello, grade 3. Our lesson today is a grammar about simple present, المضارع البسيط. This tense is used for repeated actions, للأفعال المتكررة. The form of this tense is like this. When the subject of the sentence is I, or you, or we, or they, the verb that comes after that is in the infinitive without S. But if the subject is he, or she, or it, the verb takes S at the end of it. And we say, I work, you work, we work, and they work. But we say, he works. Look at the S at the end of the verb work. He works, she works, and it works. Okay? This is the general form of the simple present tense. And now, let us see how do we make yes, no questions for the simple present tense. When we want to make yes or no questions, these questions must begin with do or does. We begin the question with do when the subject is I, or you, or we, or they. And we start the question with does when the subject is he, or she, or it. So we say, do I work? Do you work? Do we work? And do they work? But we say, does he work? Does she work? And does it work? This is the way of making yes or no questions. Now let us turn to the frequency adverbs, كلمات التكرار. These frequency adverbs are used with the simple present tense. Some of these frequency adverbs are always, usually, sometimes, once, never, and others. And try to be careful that most of the frequency adverbs comes after the subject, except once or every. Okay? Here are some examples with the frequency adverbs. Number 1, I always work. Look at the verb work without S because the subject is I. Number 2, she never works. And look at the verb work with S at the end of it because the subject is she. Because the subject is she. Now let us turn to another point. The questions with how often, how much, and how long. These questions are also used with the simple present tense. They must followed by do or does. If the subject is I, you, we, they, we use do. And if the subject is he or she or it, we use does. So we say, how often do I, you, we, they? How much do I, you, we, they? How long do I, you, we, they? But we say, how often does he or she or it? How much does he or she or it? And how long does he or she or it? Here we have 3 examples. Number 1, how often do you play? Okay, we use do because we have the subject pronoun you. Number 2, how much time do you spend? And we use do because the subject here is you. How long do you spend on homework? But if we use here instead of you, he or she or it, we change do into does. For example, if we want to use here he, we say, how often does he play? How much time does he spend? And how long does he spend on work or spend on work? Now we come to the end of our lesson about the simple present tense. Now we have a short exercise. I am asking you to choose the right verb to complete sentence number 1 and sentence number 2 here on this page. Let us start with number 1. She does tennis. She play tennis, or she plays tennis, or she played tennis. Choose the right verb and write here on this space. Number 2, we never watch TV. Do we say we never watch TV, or we never watches TV, or we never watch it TV? Also choose the right verb from here and complete with it sentence number 2. Okay, now that is the end of our lesson. The only thing which is left is that please do exercise number A on the page of this grammar about the simple present. أجب على السؤال A, answer it carefully. If you have any questions, try to contact me through the WhatsApp or any other medias. Thank you very much and see you next class inshallah, and goodbye.